There's not a fucking chance in hell that Jake Paul would survive. Jake Paul's dead. He's dead. He's not gonna make it. If I was Jake Paul right now, I would be shitting my pants.
Oh, bro, if I'm fighting.
Joe Rogan just blasted Jake Paul for canceling the Gerona Davis fight. And trust me, it was brutal. He shredded Jake's ego, calling the move reckless, embarrassing, and a complete disaster. The fallout sent shockwaves across social media, the combat sports world, and even Netflix, turning what was supposed to be a blockbuster event into a public catastrophe.
It looked like death. Death.
The moment the cancellation went public, Rogan came straight for Jake Paul's throat. No warm-up, no easing in, just instant destruction. He launched into a full-force verbal assault, tearing into Jake with the kind of rage he usually reserves for fighters who disrespect the sport. Rogan slammed the decision as reckless, humiliating, and a disaster Jake had brought on himself through sheer stupidity.
That's the fight.
That's going to be a big fight.
Big fight.
Yeah.
You could hear Rogan's decades of respect for combat sports behind every word as he unloaded. He accused Jake of playing foolish games with real killers like Tank Davis, then acting shocked when everything blew up in his face.
It's a scary one for fighters, too, because things like there's something about fighters are adrenaline junkies that like to be pumped up. And yeah.
According to Rogan, Jake had been blinded by fame, Netflix money, and his own inflated ego, pretending he could step into the ring with a power-punching monster like Tank without facing consequences. Rogan made it painfully clear. This collapse was reality finally slapping Jake in the face, and the internet felt that impact. Rogan humiliated him, ripping apart the shiny YouTube superstar illusion and exposing him as a confused rookie who thought he could bend the sport to his will.
All fucking
They've
crazy.
all done weird shit.
They're fucking crazy.
And Rogan's blast was only the first explosion. The second shockwave hit the entire boxing world like a meteor. November 3rd, the day everything officially fell apart. Most valuable promotions dropped the cancellation announcement with all the subtlety of a grenade. The hype was peaking. The machine was running full speed. And then suddenly, nothing.
He was going to get... Ben never could wrestle. He could never box.
No.
He's a wrestler. Tyron Woodley. I was so sad when Tyron Woodley kept losing to him. I love T. Wood, man.
Just a cold, emotionless statement declaring the fight dead. Shut down instantly because of the civil lawsuit against Gervonta Davis. No dramatic apology, no explanation, just a clean kill shot to the event millions were waiting for.
Crazy. I mean, if he's going to prepare, he needs like a real long camp to really get his body back to fighting shape, like real fighting shape.
Jake's team couldn't even spin it. They had to admit the truth. The legal bomb under Tank made the entire event radioactive. And once fans processed it, the backlash erupted like a volcano. Comment sections exploded with mockery. People called Jake the king of failed events. Fans were angry, disappointed, entertained, and bloodthirsty all at once. The emotional chaos was unreal.
You could do for the entertainment, but then, hey man,
there's a line.
We talked about repercussions, bro.
Yeah,
you want to talk about somebody's wife?
Analysts said they'd never seen a mega event collapse this violently or this publicly. Big fights usually die slowly and quietly. Not like this. This was an explosion in a crowded room. In minutes, everything was gone. Ticket momentum, sponsorship trust, social media hype, industry confidence. Hours earlier, it was one of the year's biggest spectacles. Now ashes. A promotional disaster unfolding in real time.
He was a funny shit talker, and then it seemed later in the career it was more almost like forced, like he was trying to be the villain. You know what I mean?
Darker.
It's no fun.
Well, it's also you're dealing with people that are dealing with the pressures of being at the top of one of the most dangerous occupations in the world.
Behind the scenes, the chaos was even worse. Netflix, the giant pushing hard into combat sports, went into full crisis mode. Emergency meetings, frantic calls, panic discussions. Jake wasn't just a fighter. He was supposed to be the face of their new combat sports experiment. And suddenly, he was a liability drowning in controversy and broken hype.
One shot, knockout power. Yeah.
He had that.
And this wasn't just an event gone wrong. It was a full-scale collapse, a chain reaction tearing through every corner of the fight world. First Rogan's nuclear rant, then the lawsuit, then the official cancellation, then the fan riot, then the business panic. Every part of the industry was getting hit at once, like dominoes falling without mercy. The fight didn't just get canceled. It crashed, burned, and dragged everything around it into the fire. And the scary part? This was only the beginning of Jake Paul's problems.
Every day when you go to bed, you know there's some dude out there that wants to kick you in the fucking dick.
The storm only grew darker after the lawsuit. Overnight, Gervonta Tank Davis went from feared fighter to the most radioactive name in boxing. One court filing in Miami-Dade, and the entire event collapsed like the ceiling caved in. The allegations were brutal: aggravated battery, kidnapping, violent misconduct. Not vague rumors, serious, graphic accusations. Fans instantly remember the old arrest clips, past domestic violence cases, warning signs people ignore because he knocked men senseless in the ring. Now the media didn't just revisit his past, they burned him with it.
If you were to pause there and ask most people, what do you think he's going to answer? What do you think a fighter would answer to this? We would probably expect things like, I want to prove that I still got it. I want to prove that I could put this YouTube.
And when it seemed things couldn't get darker, they did. Because right in the middle of the chaos, another bomb dropped. The alleged scripted fight scandal. Yes, scripted, as in rehearsed and choreographed.
It sucks and it's there, but it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like, oh, this has happened before. Thick skin, cool, move on.
It started as whispers online. Someone claimed leaked clips were posted. Normally this would be brushed off as trolling, but not this time. The rumors grew legs and a spine, and soon the whole internet was sprinting after them. People said they saw footage of Jake and Tank walking through exchanges, practicing reactions, hitting sequences like a movie rehearsal. The timing was insane. The lawsuit hits, the fight dies, and suddenly accusations of staged footage ignite the chaos like gasoline.
60 years old.
Right.
I want Jake Paul to fight guys that...
He said he wants to fight Canelo.
Canelo fights 154 or 160. That's one of his best weights. Right. He'll fight heavier.
And who jumps on it immediately? Joe Rogan. If there's a rumor big enough to shake the sport, Rogan doesn't just discuss it. He launches it into orbit. He said people he trusts told him something looked off. And when Rogan says something feels wrong, fans listen like it's breaking news. Suddenly, every comment section was screaming, was this scripted?
Watching how calm, genuinely calm he was. I'm like, this guy and Dana said it best. He's like, he eats pressure. He just eats it. He likes it. He wants it to be chaos. Got a guy say that?
And he wasn't alone. Daniel Cormier weighed in. Dana White weighed in. Even Calvin Ford, Tank's own coach, gave the whole Netflix situation some serious side-eye. All of them were disgusted at the idea that a mega fight was being treated like content instead of combat. Everyone started repeating the same phrase: creative control. Rumors said Netflix wanted influence over the fight's flow, its structure, even its big moments. Since when does a streaming platform get to choreograph a fight? Punches are supposed to happen because fighters throw them, not because a producer says it'll test well globally.
Fought a guy who was his age and who was also considered a boxer, and he lost.
People inside boxing began whispering that Jake versus Tank wasn't a boxing event anymore. It was starting to feel like a Hollywood production wearing gloves. Fans were furious. Boxing has always had politics and corruption, sure, but scripted sequences? Rehearsed exchanges? That's the line nobody wants crossed. Then the scariest realization hit. Maybe the cancellation wasn't a tragedy, maybe it was a shield. Maybe the lawsuit didn't kill the fight. Maybe it conveniently saved everyone from seeing something the sport couldn't survive. Evidence that the biggest event of the year was drifting dangerously close to being a staged spectacle built for Netflix algorithms. Suddenly the entire narrative flipped. Jake didn't look like the unlucky victim. Tank didn't look like the only villain. And Netflix didn't look innocent anymore. Fans began asking the real question: